Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Jordan Stutt. I'm the Senior Director for the Northeast region at CALSTART. We're a national nonprofit dedicated to advancing clean transportation solutions. I'm so pleased to be here at the Philadelphia Navy Yard today, alongside so many of the partners from the Clean Trucks Pennsylvania Coalition, to celebrate Pennsylvania's progress on sustainable freight, both on our roads and at our ports. As of June of this year, there were already over 1,500 zero-emission medium and heavy-duty vehicles on the road in Pennsylvania, including the two that you see behind me, the Ford E-Transit from IKEA and the Peterbilt 579 EV Class 8 tractor. These are just two of the nearly 200 models of medium and heavy-duty zero-emission vehicles that are commercially available in the U.S. today, and that number will continue to grow with increased investment. Earlier this fall, the Port of Philadelphia was awarded over $77 million from the U.S. EPA Clean Ports Program to begin the transformation of its diesel fleet, replacing many of those vehicles and equipment with electric cargo handling equipment and charging infrastructure. Around this same time last year, CalSTART kicked off a project that we're leading on a DOE-funded grant, where we'll be working alongside Pennsylvania and all the other states up and down the East Coast, alongside utilities, ports, community organizations, fleets, and automakers to begin mapping out a framework for investment in commercial, medium, and heavy-duty zero-emission charging infrastructure. Through that program, we are going to take one of the busiest freight corridors in the country, I-95, and turn it into one of the first zero-emission freight corridors in the U.S. That investment and the jobs that it will bring underscore that this transition to clean trucks is all about opportunity. It's about opportunity to deliver cleaner air to the communities that for far too long have borne the brunt of diesel pollution from trucks. It's about the opportunity to achieve the state's climate targets, which won't happen unless we meaningfully reduce carbon emissions from medium and heavy-duty vehicles. And it's about economic opportunity by helping Pennsylvania businesses save money, by investing in manufacturing, and by fostering the workforce that we'll need to build the equipment, to install the infrastructure, and to maintain these vehicles. There's no question that we rely on trucks to move our goods and keep our economy moving, but we don't need to accept the harmful impacts of truck pollution. Zero-emission truck technology offers a viable alternative, and Pennsylvania has the opportunity to be at the forefront of clean vehicle innovation and high-tech manufacturing. And we're going to hear more about that from our upcoming speakers. With that, I'm very pleased to introduce our next speaker, Brooke Petrie, Pennsylvania Field Organizer for Moms Clean Air Force. Brooke?
Thank you, Jordan. Hello, my name is Brooke Petrie, and I'm a field organizer for Moms Clean Air Force, a group of over 100,000 parents and caregivers across Pennsylvania united to protect children and families from the health impacts of air pollution and climate change. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here in South Philly today to talk about how important zero-emission trucks are to clean up the air our families are breathing and improve their health and well-being. Residents of South Philadelphia know that when you step outside in the morning, the air often has a distinct toxic smell from polluting sources in our neighborhoods. From large diesel trucks on nearby I-95 to the delivery trucks moving through the city, we are constantly exposed to dangerous tailpipe pollution in the communities where our kids live, learn, and play. Truck pollution is also a driver of the climate crisis. In Philadelphia and across the Commonwealth, the impacts are already here. With ever-strengthening storms and regular occurrences of extreme heat and high ozone days, communities are experiencing climate harms year-round. And air pollution doesn't harm everyone equally. Due to the legacy of racist practices like redlining, communities of color are burdened with heightened exposure and proximity to pollution. This pollution can exacerbate the severity and frequency of asthma attacks. And here in Philadelphia, children of color are hospitalized for asthma complications at 5 times the rate of their white peers. Reducing harmful diesel pollution from trucks is a key component to address climate justice in our city and beyond. As a person with asthma and as the parent of a child with asthma, my family experiences heightened impacts of climate change and air pollution on a daily basis. Like many of our fellow Philadelphians and other city dwellers, my family does not own a car. But that does not protect us from health-harming tailpipe pollution. We are up close and personal with air pollution every day, particularly from the transportation sector, including those diesel delivery trucks zipping in and out of our neighborhoods as we walk through our city going about our daily lives. Hopefully, more companies will soon follow IKEA's lead and switch to zero-emission electric delivery trucks as they've done across our region. Families in Philadelphia, those who own cars and those who don't, will benefit from a transition to zero-emission trucks because cleaning up the air in our communities benefits all of us. No child, grandparent, or community member should have to breathe dirty air, especially when cleaner air is a possibility within reach. The great news is kids across Pennsylvania are already getting healthier rides to school thanks to state and federal funding for electric school buses, including right here in Philadelphia. With further opportunities from the Inflation Reduction Act and Infrastructure Act, as well as pollution slashing programs like Advanced Clean Trucks to take advantage of, there are plenty of reasons that Pennsylvania parents can breathe a little easier. Thank you so much. I'll pass it back to Jordan.
Thank you, Brooke. And for our next speaker, I'm pleased to call up Tanya Diesley, the Chief Supply Chain Officer for IKEA US. Tanya?
Thank you, Jordan. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to thank our partners, hosts, and event organizers for inviting us, IKEA, today to the Navy Yard here in Philadelphia. Thank you, CALSTART, thank you, Port of Philadelphia, and all the advocacy groups that are joining us for this press conference. If you don't know why IKEA is here, we are actually a Pennsylvania-based company in the US here. We are, of course, a Swedish company, but closely connected to Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. And we have supported CalStart's campaign to encourage Governor Shapiro to initiate the advanced clean truck regulation in this state. This is an exciting day for transportation and electrification and innovation. As a society, we do face critical increasing environmental, health, and challenges to the society. This is impacting each one of us as individuals, family members, leaders, and the businesses. The transportation sector is essential for any community to grow and thrive, but it is, as we just heard, also a major source of pollution. In fact, transportation represents almost 25% of energy-related GHG emissions and is today one of the main causes of air pollution. Without immediate action, GHG emission, the share could reach up to 40% by 2030. At IKEA, we are guided by our overarching climate goals. We want to reduce emission by 50% by 2030, with a 2016 as the baseline year, and we want to be net zero by 2050. So there is a lot of reasons to be optimistic in transportation decarbonization, and the technology that is needed to drive the electrification and reduce emission, create jobs, and drive innovation, it exists today. It is a matter of action. At IKEA in the US, we have already installed over 370 chargers across all our stores in the States and distribution centers, and we have many more plans. In mobility and transportation, our goal is to reach 100% EV deliveries in our final mile business. And you can see we brought one of our trucks here today. This truck needs to go straight back to the South Philadelphia store, where we will continue to do emission-free deliveries this afternoon to 17 of our customers. They all are waiting for maybe a sofa bed for the holidays or a new tablecloth to get ready for celebrations with their families. On the supply side, IKEA is also investing in charging infrastructure and vehicles to electrify our heavy-duty shipping. We have started EV drayage trucking in Southern California, and our commitment is to only transport on zero-emission heavy trucks by 2040. We are also participating in the tender for Zero-Emission Maritime Buyers Alliance, where ocean carriers will be bidding to provide zero-emission ocean transport. We know we can't electrify the economy on our own, and we applaud our partners in the public, private, and non-profit sectors who are here today to drive this change together with us. Federal and state governments are making key investments in electrifying our ports and our supply chain. And I know that we will still have a long way to go as a company, but I'm very inspired to be here today, and I thank you for all the commitment that you're making. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. And our final speaker, Erin Johnson, the Pennsylvania nurse organizer and a registered nurse herself from the Alliance of Nurses for Healthy Environments. Erin?
Good morning, and thank you, Jordan, for your introduction. Thank you to all the businesses, advocates, and others who are here today to talk about clean trucks in Pennsylvania. My name is Erin Johnson, Pennsylvania nurse organizer with the Alliance of Nurses for Healthy Environments, the only national nursing organization focused solely on the intersection of health and the environment. I'm also a registered nurse working with families of children with complex medical needs in counties in the eastern portion of our state. Many of the children I work with have health conditions that are exacerbated by breathing dirty air. These children rely on ventilators, they need oxygen support, or use inhalers. I'm committed to improving the day-to-day quality of life of these children and their families by connecting them with resources, providing high-quality information, listening to their concerns, and by taking action to mitigate factors that negatively impact their health and well-being. We know that Philadelphia region needs trucks, buses, port vehicles, trains, and ships to move goods, especially as we all scramble to make holiday gifts, shipping deadlines. Many families, including some of our most vulnerable neighbors, rely on the trucking and shipping industries to transport life-saving medicines and other vital supplies to live healthy, productive lives. But the trucks, buses, trains, and port operations that keep goods and services moving through our region also contribute to deadly air pollution that harms communities. Diesel pollution not only harms our lungs when we breathe dirty air in a polluted transportation corridor. Diesel exhaust contains more than 40 known cancer-causing organic substances, making it responsible for about 70% of cancer risk related to air toxins. In fact, residents living near ports, warehouses, and busy roads are exposed to such high rates of heavy-duty vehicle pollution that physicians have labeled these areas diesel death zones, because asthma rates and cancer risks are so drastically elevated. The good news is that we have solutions to this diesel pollution problem. As you can see from the examples of electric trucks we have on display with us today, there are many options for electric and zero-emission trucks and buses that are cleaner and safer and still get the job done. Federal investments from the Inflation Reduction Act and bipartisan infrastructure law enable Pennsylvania to step up its transportation electrification game. Millions of dollars in Clean Ports funding were recently granted to the Philadelphia port for electrification upgrades. With this support, Pennsylvania can move forward to adopt the Advanced Clean Trucks program to have our clean air and protect the health of Philadelphians and of all Pennsylvanians. Thank you.
Thank you, Erin. Thanks to all of our speakers, and thanks to everybody here today who's working to accelerate the transition to clean trucks in Pennsylvania. That concludes the speaking portion of today's event, and we can take questions and connect you with the right folks after us.